Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about my top tips for shopping on websites like Romwe and SheIn. Now, if you've not heard of these websites before, they are Asian based websites. Both Romwe and SheIn are both based in China, and they are, I'll be honest, a little bit hit and miss. Some of you might have had similar experiences to me. However, through purchasing several items over the years, I have built up my sort of top tips and the products that I think you are sort of safe to buy from there, or where you can find some really good bargains from there. So this video is all about that, my top tips for shopping on there, and some of the things that I've bought throughout the last couple of years, and some things that I have bought recently, which I will obviously be able to link for you down in the description box. Now, both Romwe and SheIn are owned by the same company, so you're pretty much getting exactly the same stock on both of the websites, but you will notice a price difference. So it's basically up to you which site you order from. They're sort of much of a muchness. I have shopped on both. It used to be that Romwe was my favourite to shop on, but I have recently shopped on SheIn as well, and as I said, they're pretty much like for like. So both Romwe and SheIn are both based in Asia. They're both based in China, so delivery does take longer than obviously if you order in the UK. You're looking at about 10 to 14 days for things to arrive after you've placed your order on SheIn or Romwe, so you have to be prepared for that. So that's my first top tip. Be prepared for longer shipping, and the best way to sort of work around the longer shipping is make sure you don't choose items which are literally at the tail end of trends. So, you know, don't order yourself something at the end of summer that's very summery, because by the time it's going to arrive, you're probably going to be out of the season to wear it. So you kind of have to think ahead of the trends. So yeah, one of my top tips is shop ahead of the trends. Pick things on there that are either at the beginning, the cusp of something that's on trend, or even something that you think maybe is going to be a trend. But don't shop at the end of a trend, because trust me, by the time it all arrives, you will be well out of the time to either wear it or carry it if it's a bag. So that's my first top tip. Secondly, sizing. And this is the big one that everybody falls foul of on Romwe and SheIn. And I too have fallen foul of this. If you haven't seen my video, it's all about, I ordered some things from Romwe, and one of the things I ordered was a skirt, and when it turned up it was absolutely teeny tiny, and that is because the website uses Asian sizing, which is so much smaller than European sizing. So again, be aware of what you're choosing. I personally don't buy clothes on SheIn and Romwe, partly because through the years of trial and error, I like my clothes to have a sort of oversized feel. You'll know that from my videos, and it's very hard to achieve that on Romwe and SheIn. That's not to say that you can't buy clothes at all, and that's not to say that, you know, it won't work for everybody, especially if you're very petite. I know other people who have done Romwe and SheIn hauls, but you have to be ready for things to be very small. So one of my tips is, if you're gonna buy clothes, buy them big. Choose the biggest size that they have, because honestly the sizes do not reflect the sizes here in Europe or even in America. So a small is not a small, it is teeny tiny. And also the prices are so cheap, but be prepared that some stuff is just not gonna fit. Accept the fact that maybe you're gonna get something and it's just not gonna be wearable. And that's what happened with me with the banana skirt. But I loved it so much, and it cost something like $5 that I decided to turn it into a skirt. So if you haven't watched my video, do have a watch of how I turned my disastrous Romwe purchase into something actually usable. So in terms of purchasing clothes, that leads me on to another one of my things, which is returns. Returns are not the simplest on sites like Romwe and SheIn, so I think when you place your order, you have to just accept the fact that you're probably going to keep everything, because it is based in China, therefore the returns process is always going to be a little bit trickier. As I said, I have in the past ordered clothes from there. I have ordered sort of some summery pieces, but the things that I can almost guarantee you will not want to buy on there is jumpers. If, like me, you like your jumpers oversized, so this I think is a medium or a large from H&M. it just doesn't happen on Romwe or SheIn. The clothes will never ever be oversized. But for things like t-shirts, I have bought t-shirts before. I've always chosen larger sizes so that it sort of has not an oversized fit, probably just an actual normal fit. So yeah, that would be one of my top tips, is to steer clear of any kind of sort of oversized or things on the website that look like they're going to be oversized, because that's the other thing. You have to take the imagery on these websites with a very, very big pinch of salt. Usually the image on the website is from the original product. So what you're going to find on these websites like Romwe and SheIn is that they're copies of high street products, quite often Zara or H&M or similar products. Therefore, sometimes it can be a little bit misleading about what you're going to receive in the post. And if you want a good laugh, there are forums after forums of people's pictures of expectation versus reality on some of these Asian websites. But I do still think that if you shop savvy on these websites, and if you're sort of realistic with what you expect to turn up, that actually you can find some little bargains, and hopefully when I get to some of the pieces that I have bought, you will see that. So yeah, top tip. Don't believe everything that you see in the picture, and be realistic about what you expect it to look like when it arrives. One of the reasons why they managed to keep the cost down on these things is obviously the fabrics are going to be cheaper. It's not going to be as high quality as the £80 jacket that's in Zara. But do you know what? If you're only going to wear it a couple of times and you're not really that fussed, then do you know what? Go for it, I say. I also think with these sites, it is a little bit of trial and error. Work out what works for you, work out what your sizing is, or like me, just completely avoid purchasing clothes on there altogether. So on to some of the products that I do think are worth buying on websites like SheIn and Romwe, and the first one is handbags. Now I own several that I have bought from Romwe and SheIn, and I actually have purchased one recently, so I'm going to show you that. Now the thing about handbags on there is, again, they're going to be cheaper replicas of more expensive versions, and that does bother some people. They don't like the idea of bags being like direct copies, but for a lot of us, we can't afford the designer original that's thousands of pounds. So do you know what? If I can pick up a copy for around about £10 or £15, and I'm going to carry it, you know, for a season and then probably forget about it, then I am more than happy to do so. And over the years I have picked up some really cool little buys on there, and actually some purchases that I think are pretty good quality for the money. So I'm going to show you a couple of them. A couple of these don't exist on the website anymore. I'm just trying to show you them for sort of a sense of quality and the product, but like I said, I have got two here which are current stock, which you can buy on there right now. So the first one of my favourite, I think, bags that I've ever bought on there is my Shrimps dupe. Now this, I think the Shrimps original was really popular last season, and there were a couple of other copies going round, or dupes or versions. I know that like Skinny Dip had a version which was slightly different, but the pearl bag was the bag that everybody wanted, and I think the Shrimps one was, I mean, it was something like 500 quid or something like that. I'm not going to spend £500 on a bag which really is a novelty bag. You're not going to carry this every day. You know, you can't fit everything that you need in this. It doesn't go over crossbody, which is normally what I look for in an everyday bag. However, I found this I bought it on Romwe, I believe. And okay, it wasn't the cheapest bag that I've ever bought on Romwe. I actually think it was £30, which for me, to spend that on Romwe is quite a big deal. However, I'd obviously shopped on there a few times before, and it was still a tiny, tiny fraction of the cost of the actual. So, and I'm really impressed with this. It's really quite heavy duty. It has so many pearls on it. I mean, it's an unbelievable amount of pearls on this bag. And it's actually really nicely lined in blue satin. It came with a little blue satin, or sateen, it's not real satin, is it? Satin bag for it to sit in and protect it. And actually, it's a pretty heavy duty, well-made bag. And although, yes, it is sort of plasticky pearls, I haven't felt the Shrimps one. I don't know if the Shrimps one is sort of more glass pearls or whatever, but for the money, I was over the moon with this, and I've only used it a couple of times because, as I said, it's not an everyday bag. So I'm pretty happy with this dupe, and I was pretty happy with my purchase on Romwe. So I'm always on there looking at sort of designer dupe handbags. It's a brilliant website for that. As I said, it took sort of 10 to 14 days to arrive, although as I said, Romwe has got a lot quicker. So yeah, this is one of my favourite ever purchases on there, I think. Another bag purchase, which again I was really pleased with, and again it's another novelty bag, it's not an everyday bag, was this little clear number. I think this was around about £8. It's got little wooden handles and a little sort of drawstring bag that sits inside. I bought it last season, I used it loads, but I just think for a novelty trend piece, you don't want to spend a lot of money on it. If you just want to have a bit of fun and get one and see if you're going to use it, then £8, I mean, you can't go wrong, because it is essentially just plastic. So, you know, why not buy it from China? You're probably not going to get this bag in any better quality in the UK. So I don't think this is online anymore. Obviously, if any of these are, I will try and link them. But yeah, I was really happy with this little purchase. And also, this little drawstring bag comes out. So actually you can have it completely clear, or you can put other little bags inside, which I have done as well. So that was another one of my bag purchases from there. And again, it was a really good buy. I was really happy with it. This is another bag purchase from on there. They've got a very similar one at the moment, which I can link. It's a sort of, I mean, this isn't a direct copy of any bag. It's sort of got that Gucci feel about it. It's got pearl embellishments, little top handle, and there is actually a shoulder strap as well. Again, it's just sort of plastic and fake suede. Very similar to like what you would get in Primark or even New Look or something like that. I can't remember how much this one was, but actually I was really happy with this. It's got a metal bird ring detail on the front, and it looks actually really like much more expensive than it actually was. So I was quite happy with this was a Romwe, I believe. This little Romwe purchase. So that's another bag that I own in my collection. So this was a purchase last year, but I looked recently online and it is still on there, and this would be great for this summer as well. So last summer straw bags were huge, weren't they? Everybody had them, and this sort of just simple round design with a top handle and a crossbody strap, and I think this was like a tenner or 12 quid or something like that. It wasn't a lot, and I used it loads. And the brilliant thing about this, because it was plain, is what I might do this summer is actually decorate it with some pom-poms and sort of DIY it up. But yeah, it's exactly the same kind of quality as what I saw in all the other shops. It's not any different, and it was cheaper. And also I got it around about the time when you couldn't find just a plain round straw bag anywhere. They were sold out everywhere. So of course I headed for Romwe and bought mine, and I was really happy with it. And like I said, you can get it still online, and I'll definitely use this one this summer as well, because straw bags are going to be massive again this summer. So my recent bag purchase is actually in a colour that I don't own, and that's partly why I bought it. So I'll show you it now. Only arrived a couple of days ago, and I'm really pleased with it. It is a brown mock croc sort of bucket bag, and again, it's sort of fake plasticky leather. It's not, you know, real leather or anything like that, but then you wouldn't even get that, you know, in Primark or anything like that. But I just really like the details on it. It's got gold hardware, it's got some ring details here on the front with a tie top. It has got a shoulder strap as well, which I haven't attached yet, but I don't really own anything brown or tan in my collection, so that's why I got it, is to go with sort of more neutral outfits. But I really like it. I'm really pleased with it. It's really roomy inside. It is actually quite soft, sort of fake leather, and I think it doesn't look super cheap. I think it's sort of, it looks alright actually, you know. So I'm really happy to add that to my collection, and this is, like I said, it's current online now, so I'll be able to link that. So yeah, my top tip is handbags. It's one of the best things to buy on there, especially if you like sort of novelty or slightly designer dupe handbags, then it's a really great place to pick them up there. And I'll link some of my favourites in the description box if you guys are interested. Okay, my other favourite thing to buy on websites like Romwe and SheIn, and my top tip is accessories. So things like jewellery. I think it's a brilliant place for jewellery. I buy so much jewellery on there. I buy sort of 4 or 5 pairs of earrings at a time, because also there is a shipping charge, which can be expensive depending on how much you've got in your basket. So I always tend to add several pairs of earrings and do sort of like a mini haul. But yeah, if you like me and you like costume jewellery, you know, you like that sort of Masoma look, but you don't have the Masoma budget or sort of similar brands like that, then honestly, Romwe and SheIn is just a brilliant place to pick up sort of cheap jewellery, especially earrings. I'm massively into earrings these days, especially sort of big pairs of earrings, although these are Primark. And I've picked up some beautiful earrings recently. So these are the last sets that I bought, and they're all sort of pearl based. So these were all under £4, I think. Can't remember the exact prices, but obviously I'm going to link them on. So you've got a big pair of hoops here with a really, really big pearl hanging down, and I'd actually seen a similar pair on Erica Davies, and that's why I picked up these, because I love big hoops and I love pearls. So yeah, really, really happy with them. They look really nice on. Then another pair, so they all just come in these little plastic packets. Another pair of pearl earrings. These have sort of like more of a freshwater pearl look on a sort of half hoop that's a little bit textured. These are absolutely beautiful. I love these, and when these are on, you would not know that they were so super cheap. Now obviously not everybody is gonna be able to wear these. I know some people who have very sensitive ears, and this would maybe turn their ears green, or you know, they might be have sort of an allergic reaction to it if you're sensitive. I've never had that problem. Obviously these don't last forever. They will start to tarnish because they're just costume jewellery, similar to what you get in H&M and you get in Primark and things. So, but again, if you're realistic about what you're buying, then I just think you can find some amazing trend pieces. I have another pair of hoops, which I'll show you, maybe I'll put them in and show you, and every time I wear them somebody says, oh, people say, oh, are they Masoma? They're not, they're Romwe, and they were like £2 or something. So I like that. I don't have the money to buy all the jewellery that I would want on Masoma, so I invest in the odd slightly more expensive piece, and then if I want really trend driven pieces, I buy them off cheaper websites like this. So yeah, love them, really, really nice. And the third pair of earrings that I bought are a big statement hoop. Again, they're pearl. Look at them, so fun. Love them. Yeah, again, they're just sort of cheap plastic pearls. They're nothing too jazzy, but for the amount of time that this trend for big pearl hoops is going to last, these will last that length of time. So yeah, top tip, shop jewellery. My only slight word of warning is sometimes it's hard to judge the size online and the perspective to tell how big, like for example, hoops are or things like that. What you will find, and I will say this from experience, is things are always slightly bigger. So it might look like it's this really sort of delicate sort of hoop, and when it arrives it can be quite oversized, because that's sort of what you get when something's cheaper. But again, it's a little bit trial and error, and you have to accept that maybe when you order some bits you might get the odd duff. But on the whole, I've loved every bit of jewellery that I've bought on there. Okay, so the next thing that I suggest have a little look at on Romwe and SheIn, and a couple of things that I have bought myself, is homeware. Now, who would believe that you could buy homeware on these websites? But you can. And I like to have a little browse on there, and I like to buy cushion covers from there. And I have purchased in my time 2 cushion covers. Again, you have to accept the fact that it's going to be a cheaper quality. There's no way that it can be that price and be the same quality. However, you can find some really, really cute cushion designs. So 2 of my YouTube background cushions are from Romwe. The first is this sort of palm leaf design, which I'll try and do some close-ups to show you the kind of style it is, but it's like a woven cushion with a printed design, and I think it's lovely, and it was super cheap. It comes just the cushion cover, so you put your own cushion in it, but I was really, really happy with it. I love it on this little pink chair. And my more recent purchase was this. little cushion with succulents on. This is like a velvet feel cushion, and I will say that the design is not, it's printed and it's not the sharpest of designs, and I think that's maybe what gives it that slightly cheaper, less high quality look. But again, if you want to switch up your interiors every so often and you want to do it on a budget, this is a really good way to do it. And I think they have some really cute little designs, and they're all really cheap, the cushion covers, and these are the two that I own. So I'll try and show you sort of closer up what they're like so you can get a sense of like the quality of them. So the last of my top tips and the kind of product that I shop on there for on SheIn and Romwe is technology and sort of random products. You can find the most amazing random products on there, and it's absolutely brilliant for that. So the first thing is phone cases. They have a huge range of phone cases, and they are super cheap, like compared to, you know, some of the ones that you can pick up in the UK. This is my most recent one for my iPhone. It's kind of like a what do you call it, like a crystal effect. It's just a printed design, it's nothing special like when you actually sort of feel it close up, but I love the look of it. It's really, it's one of those soft silicone cases, so it protects my iPhone. It looks really cute, and it was really cheap, and it means if you want to switch up your phone case style quite a lot, like I do like to change it around, it's a really cheap way to do it. So yeah, double check that you're ordering the correct size for your phone. They have most of their styles in every kind of phone type, and I have to say I have the iPhone X, and quite often it's hard to find cases for the iPhone X, and they had loads for the iPhone X. So I'm actually, the next time I do a little mini haul on there, I'm going to order a couple more. There was one with constellations on it, and I wish that I'd bought that one as well, but really love this one for the moment. A couple of other random products that I bought this time. This is the most random purchase, but I honestly think these are so useful, and these are disposable mascara ones, and they were like pennies. Well, they weren't pennies, they were pounds, but I think they're about £1 for a big pack like this. I use these for so much. I use them to shape my eyebrows, I use them to take off excess mascara, or I use them sometimes in my freelance makeup work as well. They are so handy, and I love having a pack of them on my dressing table. I have them in a little pot, and it's just one of those random products that you can find on there. So have a little bit of a nosy in their beauty section. They have a whole beauty section on there as well, where you can buy face masks and makeup brushes and all sorts. So many bargains to be had. But yeah, I buy these all the time. And then the last really random purchase that I got this time was a little phone stand. And this is just so, if you watch my Instagram stories, you know I listen to my playlists a lot, and this is just so I can stand my phone up and flick through my playlists easily, but also because I am possibly considering doing some Instagram lives moving forwards, and I wanted a stand for my phone so I could just stand it up and it can be hands-free. But yeah, it's just like a little plastic thing, really random. But it's just, yeah, it's just so handy. That's what I mean, you can find the most randomest stuff on there, but things that are actually genuinely useful. They had a really cool little thing that stops your iPhone cable snapping, and I wish I'd bought one of them as well. But yeah, top tip, look for unusual products and technology products on there. So that's just a little bit of a look at some of the things that I've been buying recently on Romwe and SheIn, and a few of my top tips for shopping on there. As I said, go into it with a realistic expectation of what you're going to receive, and you might be pleasantly surprised. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and of course do subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you again next time. Bye.